Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, after you guys, is another Star Wars video. Today we're tackling the very first Star Wars film, and technically it's the fourth made, but whatever. We're talking about Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Now, I did say in my last video yesterday that I was going to essentially be reviewing all 9 of the Skywalker Saga films ahead of the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, coming out April 5th. We're just about 8 days away. Cannot freaking wait. So, normally when I watch all the Star Wars movies, I watch, all 12, not just the 9. I'll watch Clone Wars movie, Solo, Rogue One. However, technically, those 3 aren't part of the Skywalker Saga. They are, they're in the same canon, and they matter to the story, but when you call it the Skywalker Saga, it is, 1 to 9. So, we're going to be doing that. So today is my review of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So, if I could essentially explain The Phantom Menace in one word, it would be inconsistent. Because there's a lot of really good things about this movie, right? The soundtrack is freaking awesome. The final battle is a Duel of the Fates is awesome. The pod racing scene is great. There's so many really good moments, really good, action scenes, and there's funny moments at times, and it looks good for 1999. Especially Jar Jar Binks. Say what you will about actual Jar Jar Binks, and George Lucas giving people Jamaican accents and Asian accents and Boston accents, whatever. I don't give a fudge, but some people are mad about that. But, Jar Jar himself, the actual CGI motion capture is freaking great. A lot of the CGI in this film really holds up. And then you also get shots where, Amidala is standing in her, really exquisite gown, and you see a plug from the dress to the wall, or Obi-Wan Kenobi's wig shifts from shot to shot, or Padme is in Shmi's homestead and she's just talking to herself, or little things like that. There's a lot of moments like that in this film where it seems like George Lucas really cared about making this film, because again, it's it looks really good and it's got good action set pieces and it's a good film. I don't mind it, but it also feels like George Lucas was a little bit lazy, and he was like, well, just film that and CGI that out, or add that in. I think about a little too far. That's what he did. He was essentially just. It's weird, you know what I mean? Because I like this film. It's my second least favorite. I don't hate the film, but my least favorite is Attack of the Clones, and then this one. But to actually start out the Skywalker Saga, it's not the best. It's not the most action-packed, but I get it. It's the first of the franchise. You gotta set your ground rules. You gotta introduce Sheev Palpatine and Anakin and all that stuff. But again, there's just so many moments where, Padme is just like, look, here he comes. Just no emotion. Like, a lot of the actors in this are, pretty good. Jake Lloyd, for all the shit he's been... I dropped it. For all the stuff that he's been given, I don't need it anyway, screw it. He very much isn't that bad of a child actor. Jar Jar Binks isn't that bad. Sometimes he's funny, sometimes he's not. Whatever. But I don't mind him. I think he's an alright character. Especially if you watch the Clone Wars. Then you get Qui-Gon Jinn, who's good. Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan Kenobi's freaking awesome. I can't wait for his show in May. So there's a lot of good actors. Captain Panaka, he's a really good actor in this, compared to everyone else. Palpatine's good. Darth Maul's fine. And then you get scenes with, Padme just looking, like, straight at the camera, like, for like freaking 5 seconds, like the whole shot, it's like, are you looking at the camera? You're looking at, what I mean? She's really bad in this. I don't know why. I know she's a little young, but I don't know, she's not that good. She's just kind of blankly staring. She's like mouthing words off in the background. I guess you could chalk that up to in canon that she's, talking to someone, she's like kind of talking to Anakin or whatever. She's just saying, oh, nice home or something. But she's clearly just talking to herself. There's, again, that shot where the thing is just plugged into the outlet. The pod racing scene is freaking awesome, but 99% of the shots are from this to that, or from this to that. There's a really awesome, it's just so energetic and so much fun to watch, and the CGI is great, but every single camera shot for the most part is just the same panning animation, so it gets a little old, and you tend to notice. It's little things like that, where you're looking at it and you're like, okay, this is a fine movie. The action's fine, the CGI is fine, the writing is fine for the most part, the acting is fine for the most, but when everything is just fine and good, borderline very good sometimes in this film, you do notice the stuff that pops up. Padme doing things. It's mostly Padme. But, there's just weird scenes where, like, one of the first lines of the film is Newt Gunray being like, blockade is perfectly legal. It's like, yeah, no shit, it's legal. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, the writing is just really, it's like George Lucas intended this movie to be for toddlers. He's like, da, 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 da. It's like, stop, you know what I mean? Just start, in my opinion, my humble opinion, Star Wars is not for children, it's for teenagers and up. And I know, oh, it's PG, you know, whatever. That's just my opinion. I would say 12, 13 up, not 4 up, but whatever. So, there's that one line where he's like, oh, okay, there's pop-up illegal. It's like, okay, you know, like, what does that serve the plot? You know, there's little things like that. It's like, you know, you don't need to say that line. Because maybe Newt Gunray's an idiot, I don't know. But apparently he must be. But just saying something like that, you know, you starting off the movie with a crap line, like, hey, just so you know, okay, just so you know, our blockade, it's legal. It's like, the people in the starship are like, yeah, okay, can we frickin' park? Can we land the ship? You know, just stupid stuff like that. It's kind of weird. And again, nothing like that majorly breaks the film, but it does. You know, it's like fight choreography. You know what I mean? People keep bringing up the Last Jedi throne room fight, which I think is the best fight in Star Wars, or really in any film I've ever seen. But, you know, there's 1 or 2 shots where one of the Praetorian guards are doing who knows what. And it's only bad if you look for it. And I'll mention that in the review. But, you know, just like Obi-Wan Kenobi's wig, it's only there if you look for it. You know what I mean? Or like when Darth Maul kicks Obi-Wan in the face in the fight at Theed, his foot clearly does not hit his face. Or, you know, it's like, and I know he's not actually going to kick him in the chin, but, you know, it's like, and they make a sound effect. You know, it's little things like that where there are moments where George could have easily said, or Rick McCallum, anyone could have said, hey, let's reshoot that, or hey, let's do another take. But instead, it just felt lazy where he was like, oh, they were like, George, there's a plug in the wall. Who gives a fudge? Move on. You know, George, Padme's talking to herself in the corner. Who gives a fudge? Move on. You know, it seems like that, and it just seems careless. And then, again, on the other hand, this movie looks really good for its time, and it still holds up. And it has really fun action moments. And Jake Lloyd really isn't that bad as, you know, there's a few, yippee! You know, I get it. The yippee, it's really not his fault. It's just George Lucas saying, what would an 8-year-old boy say when he's excited? I'll say yippee. It's like, no one says yippee, ever. I've never said yippee in my freaking life. And ever. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. And, you know, again, that really isn't Jake Lloyd's fault. That's George Lucas' writing. But, look, I love George Lucas for creating Star Wars, but, you know, he insists Star Wars is for children. I disagree. I don't think it's for kids. He was given full reign on the prequels, and, you know, they're my least favorite trilogy for a reason. And, again, I'm not hating on these films. As Star Wars films, they're effing awesome, and I love them. They're canon, they're fun, they're amazing. But as movies, this one is my second least favorite. Again, it's got some weird inconsistencies. It's got some easily, you know, just some lazy things that George could have easily just reshoot that one scene. You know, or you tell me the whole cast and crew didn't see, you know, Padme talking to herself in the corner going, and you know what I mean? It's like, no one saw that, you know? No one saw the plug in the wall? It's just really weird editing sometimes, too, where Newt Gunray and his buddy are talking, and, you know, the classic whip pan scene transition they have in these films. It's just like, is that legal? And then they just cut. And sometimes the editing's kind of weird, too, where, like, a character will speak, and it's just like, the acting in this sometimes almost feels staged, and it's like you're watching a play. Because, like, Captain Panaka, he's good. He'll be like, sir, you need to come with us right now. And then the camera will stay on him for a minute, and he's just kind of like... And then it slowly goes over to Padme, and she says her line, and then she looks dead as a horse, and then you move on to someone else. It's just, you know, sometimes it feels like it's a very slogging with the editing. It's like, all right, there are certain scenes where you could cut quicker, or, you know, cut slower. But, again, that's a nitpick. I'm really not going to take too many points off of that. It's just something I noticed. But, again, for being my least favorite Star Wars film, I still love watching this film. Don't get me wrong. I didn't like, oh my god, I gotta watch The Phantom Menace. I enjoyed this film. I really do. I think it has a lot of fun moments. It's very entertaining and engaging, especially for the first of the Skywalker saga. Not the strongest in terms of a start to a franchise. Again, there's a lot of trade disputes, a lot of taxing shit, and a lot of discussions in a committee. I don't find that stuff boring because it, you know, goes to the plot of Palpatine. You know, Palpatine really, he's the Thanos of this Skywalker saga, and, you know, before he can be all power, you know, like resurrecting from the dead and all that stuff, he needs to start slow, and the only way he can truly gain power is to manipulate people. Padme Amidala, who's like, what, freaking 16 or something, you know, I mean, she's stupid, clearly, I mean, she's talking to herself in huts, She's got to be an idiot, you know? So I think there's a lot of scenes where Palpatine, you know, that's his moment to shine. And, you know, yes, E.T.'s in the film. I guess E.T.'s canon, I don't know. But, no, I mean, like I said, there are a few inconsistencies in the film. But I don't hate this movie, and I do not want you to think, oh, he's a hater. I'm not a hater. I am as real of a fan as any fan can get, trust me. And this is, you know, I'm only pointing out the flaws because I love this film. And really, I mean, you know, like, I don't want to be here, oh, that sucks, there are things that can be improved, and again, there are moments that feel very lazy and half-assed, but at the same time, there are moments that are really, really great and really shine, you know. The last half of the film is good. I think the Gungan fight's really cool, the music is spectacular, you know, I think they did a really good job with, again, the CGI for the most part, you know, when Obi-Wan's looking at Jar Jar Binks, you know, if you saw the behind the scenes for how they made Jar Jar, it's just a mad best, just like this black dude with like a freaking Jar Jar head, and you know Obi-Wan had to look at him, and he was like, okay, I can't look at Ahmed Best's eyes, I have to look at Jar Jar's, the fake eyes, you know, so they did a good job with that kind of thing. Watto's really good, you know, even though they kind of made him a Jew. I think Watto is a, you know, I don't know what he was doing, you know, Watto is a pretty good character. I think, you know, having being a Toydarian who's like, no, they won't, you know, just kind of stuff like that, and I think he's kind of cool. The whole pod racing scene is really entertaining again, so, you know, there are moments in this film that are really good, but there are also moments that are kind of lazy and feel like, oh, they could have easily reshot that, or could have edited that quicker, or could have edited that slower, you know, any of that stuff. But overall, you know, again, this is my second least favorite, but it is not the worst. In my opinion, Episode 2 is the worst, but I'm going to give Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, a B. I think, you know, as a Star Wars film, it's an A+. Because it provides so much to the lore, and it's a great, entertaining film. But as a movie, and the fact that I'm reviewing it, you know, again, I've never really come across a movie that felt this lazy and, you know, not lazy at the same time. You know, it's really weird, like 50-50. It's like, this is a really well-made film, and then this is not too great. So it's kind of weird. But, you know, normally I don't give movies, especially Star Wars, anything lower than a B, but, you know, as upon re-reviewing this film, I'm going to give it a B. Again, that's a good score. You know, B is good, A is great, and B is good. You know, I think this is a good movie. It's not a bad movie, it's not a fantastic film. I think it's a good film. Again, if they could have reshot a few things, or maybe quickened up the editing so it's not like panning at one dude, or, you know, having this guy say, you must contact me 2 times the same freaking way. You know what I mean? There's just little things like that. Nothing in this movie is so major where it's like, wow, this is bad. But there are little moments that, you know, when I'm reviewing it, they slowly tally up to the top. You know, it's like a little checkpoint. You know, you're making like what Rey does in The Force Awakens. You know, she keeps a tally mark on how many days she's been on Jakku. That's what I'm doing. It's like, oh, little thing. You know, and look, when I watch this film, I don't look for that. I'm only looking for this because I'm reviewing it for YouTube. You know, if I were to just watch the Skywalker Saga for fun, yeah, I would. You know, I'd have the stuff in the back of my mind, but I'd watch it. Oh, this is a great movie. That was really fun. Let's move on to 2. You know what I mean? So again, I'm gonna give The Phantom Menace a B. Tell me in the comments down below what you think about this film without, you know, trashing anyone. I know this film, The Phantom Menace, you know, George Lucas raped my childhood, you know, all those rejects. You know, if you're one of them, don't leave. But I do think that for the most part, this is a fun film, and it's good. Again, a few little issues here or there, but I do enjoy it, and I'll always love watching it. I cannot wait for Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. That'll be coming up either today, same time as this video, or the next day. Again, I'm kind of crunched because I have a certain amount of time before this game comes out, and I have homework, but I'm going to try my best to get this done, and, you know, hey, it's an excuse to watch Star Wars, and you know, that's all. Even this movie, you know, I mean, I love watching, even though it's good, it's a B, it's still, I love watching it, you know, I mean, I think it's a really fun film. So anyway, tell me in the comments down below what you think. I cannot wait for Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, very soon. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.